Coventry and Warwickshire.
The West Midlands Police counter-terrorism unit, is continuing its investigation into the whereabouts of a Coventry 18-year-old man. He's been missing since March and believed to be in Syria. This comes as a former director of global counter-terrorism for MI6 says that security service will never be able to monitor all of the Britons who return to the UK after fighting in Syria. Now, that warning comes after video footage has emerged that apparently shows several young British jihadists in Syria promoting the Al-Qaeda splinter group ISIS. Two are brothers from Cardiff, 20-year-old Nasser Mutana, 17-year-old Asil Mutana, and 20-year-old Riyad Khan have also been named. How much impact, though, are these jihadi videos having on young Muslims in Britain? Usman Nawaz is a former member of the Young Muslims Advisory Group. Usman, very good evening to you.
Good evening, Phil.
Have you seen these jihadi videos yourself?
I've not watched the videos in their entirety, but I certainly have seen the excerpts of these videos, and they are incredibly disturbing. Here you have 4 or 5 young Muslims sat around having a laugh and a joke, presenting a rosy, romantic, HD picture of jihad, as they would call it. This is a complete fallacy to say that, people who they recruit go from here to take part in Syria and they can sit around and have a laugh and a joke like that. It's just, it makes a complete mockery of the situation. And I think, this recruitment tactic by ISIS there's 2 things that really stick out to me here in this video. One is the appeal direct to the hearts from the young people. Calling out to fellow young Muslims and saying, if you don't actually come and join us, there's a question mark over the legitimacy of your own faith. How much of a Muslim can you be if you don't come and join us? And secondly, this is an appeal coming from young people themselves. It's peer-to-peer, and that is something which is disturbing. This isn't the commander of an organisation or the head of an organisation telling people to come and join a struggle. This is young people themselves, and I think this recruitment tactic, tied into their social media strategy, tied into the use of the internet, can be incredibly dangerous and disturbing for young people in this country.
Well, it's something they're very active in, isn't it? The social media strategy, the hashtags, and the other social networking you've named there. However, I can imagine, most Muslims will deplore their activities and deplore what they stand for. So with that in mind, I'm just wondering how much you talk about these videos amongst your community, amongst your friends.
With everyone that I've had a conversation with in relation to the videos, they've said how deplorable they actually are, how the content, the way that they're coming across, how unacceptable that really is. The people that I've spoken to know others who have travelled to Syria or the border areas, and that is mainly, exclusively for humanitarian purposes. So I've not come across anybody or know anyone who knows someone who has travelled to go and take part in a war which I think many don't actually understand the politics of or the nuances of, especially what is happening in Iraq with the sectarian violence. I'm not sure if these young people would actually know the nuanced differences between the Sunnis and the Shias in this war that they are purporting to be a part of. So the conversations on the street mainly are around how the ISIS as an organisation, claiming to be a Sunni organisation, fighting Shias as they put it. I'm a Sunni. I'm from a Sunni background. ISIS do not represent one iota of my beliefs. Over the weekend, I spent a full Saturday in Milton Keynes at a conference with Sunnis and Shias, looking at how we can work together for common good. On the street, people completely reject these videos, the message of ISIS. What they are trying to promote is completely unacceptable. And, at the beginning, you mentioned them to be a splinter group of Al-Qaeda. Well, Al-Qaeda have even said that they're too extreme for us.
Well, they've disowned them, haven't they, really? But, yeah.
They have disowned them, and, that just really shows you how dangerous a group this is. And we need to be doing a lot more in our communities. And, as I said this very, very clearly, that there is as a community, we need to be more aware about the grievances that some young Muslims have, and in many occasions they're legitimate grievances, but they need to have the safe spaces to air those grievances, to have those conversations, for those grievances to be challenged as well, and for them to be given the right kind of guidance. The Imam in Cardiff, I'm sure, I did a radio interview with him earlier this morning, and I've heard him speak later in the day as well, and he's been categorical and clear about the approach that he has taken in terms of completely disowning these actions and speaking from the pulpit about how wrong they are. We need more of that happening right across the country.
Usman, appreciate your time. Usman Nawaz, a former member of the Young Muslims Advisory Group.